Everyone, Darren here from Texas Small Town Rides, and today I'm bringing you how I build Jimmy and I's 1K to 1.5K bun burner saddle sore runs on the Google. Hey, thanks for sitting through that with me. So Jimmy and I, we do a lot of bun burners. We do a lot of saddle sores. We like to go all over the place. I'm typically the one that plans them. Now, when Jimmy and I are doing just simple runs, when we're trying to get a patch, when we're just moving from here to there, and we're really interested in making sure we have the tightest time crunch possible with the most safety available, I use Google Maps when I plan our routes. And I'm about to show you exactly how to plan the simplest route you can using Google Maps. Here we go. It's the old man, the Google. So here you can see I've already got my map pulled up. Now, what you need to do is find whatever browser you're using, go to Google, go to whatever that you do as your search engine. You can just type in maps, right? And then the first thing that's going to probably come up is your Google Maps option. So click on your Google Maps option. There you go. It's pretty simple, right? Once you're at the Google Maps option, find a location. If you're going with a group of people, I highly recommend you don't bring them to your house where you live. Bring them to a central location that's well lit, that has a lot of fuel pumps, has a lot of restrooms, and has the ability to accommodate your motorcycle posse, if you want to call it that. We typically like to meet up at the Buc-ee's here in Denton, and I've already got that favorited because we do a lot of these. So pick your local spot, choose directions from here, and this is where it becomes creative. This is where you have to figure out what is best for you. My motorcycle will safely do about 180 miles without any problem, whether I'm doing over the speed limit or under the speed limit, cruise control, headwinds, whatever, side winds. I got a lot of luggage, whether it's my wife and I, the bike's riding heavy, bad air pressure, which you should not have, but sometimes it happens. 180 miles is a safe bet for my K1600 GTL. So what you want to do from here is just measure along the freeway using the Google opportunities or the built-in mechanics to find where you're going. I'm going to look down here at the screen, so don't be offended. So we're going to go measure distance, and we're just going to start measuring north because I know we're going north. Let's just take a wild guess at it and say Oklahoma City is roughly, what do we got here? 168 miles. Well, you might think I measured that on my own, and I did. We're going to go east on 44. Why not? It's easy. Let's do it. I also happen to know that there is a Flying J Travel Center right here at this corner of 35 and 44. So let's just add this to clear our measurement out. Let's add this as a direction 2. We can see here it's 180 miles. That's kind of pushing it, but I know I can get there. It's all freeway, not a problem. From there, I'm going to scroll back out using my scroll wheel. And I'm going to start measuring from the Flying J. I'm just going to measure east in hops and skips. You don't have to get this correct. I mean, if you want to get really nitpicky about it, you can drag and, you can pull this down to every little curve, and you can really attempt to fine tune exactly your distance. You see, I mean, you can really get super into the distance if you want. Distance is always going to show up at your last marker right here. So I'm just going to keep going, as you can see. Now, I've done this ride before. Jim and I have done this ride before. We are familiar with another location, which is going to be right here in Miami. Not Miami, Florida. God, I wish. and we're just going to hit this Phillips 76. Add it as a destination. Google's going to tell you your estimated time. It's going to tell you your estimated distance. Right now, we can see that we are at 360 miles, which means we still got a ways to go, but roughly one more stop. So we're going to clear out the measurement once again. Yay. And we're just going to start measuring again from this Phillips on out. I'm going to zoom out again because I'm just going to do massive leaps and bounds. Staying on 44. Again, sometimes I like to pull in just to make sure, but it's good, smart to hit about every corner, right? To make sure that you're not really underestimating your mileage. That's really important. You don't want to underestimate your mileage because that can really, really cause you some heartache. All right, so here we're about 150 miles or so. So I'm going to start looking for a place to stop. Here we go, 174 miles. So let's see if there's anything up here in the St. Roberts area. Again, I love to look on the edge of the freeway. Here is a come and go, so let's add that as a destination. We're at 533 miles. 533 miles. Why would, I'm going to clear out the measurement. Why would I choose 533 when you only need to do 1,000? Well, sometimes the GPS can be wrong. Sometimes your odometer can read incorrectly. Some motorcycles can have a plus or minus variance between other motorcycles and your odometer and the GPS. Jimmy and I have found every single time that we travel together, our motorcycles are within 100 feet of each other the entire time. And we will often have a 10 to 20 mile difference at the end of our trip. It's crazy. If we do 1,000 miles, Jimmy might have 20 miles more than me. I might have 15 miles more to him. We can't figure it out. There are different tolerances. You can talk to the manufacturers. There are plus or minus tolerances in your motorcycle for the odometer reading. So just be aware of that. So this will add maybe an hour, a half hour to our ride. You can back up on this if you wish and find exactly 500 miles. I don't recommend it. So here we have our run, straight up 35, hanging right onto 44 to the Phillips to the come and go. Now here's what's really kind of cool about this is that this particular route, the way that this one's designed is once you get your route marker, your picture, your dated business receipt, and you turn around and head back, that's the most important part of the ride. You head back, then you get the Phillips 76 again, and then you get the Flying J Travel Center again, and then you're back home. Here's what's important about the Iron Butt Association that you really have to pay attention to. Whenever you make a deviation from your route, or you're going on a straight route, you have to have a dated business receipt at the turnaround, at the location, or at what would be considered a corner, like the Flying J. This is just a big, hook. It's just a big L shape, upside down L. So, or a boot, or whatever you want to call it. But when you make this eastern turn, you better have a receipt there because they'll be afraid that you're going from the Buc-ee's straight to the come and go and not documenting your ride. Now, I recommend Bubbler. They recommend Bubbler's. Okay, guys, Future Darren here, just checking in. This is actually Spotwalla, which utilizes the Bubbler app to communicate with it, and that's where the Iron Butt Association gets their information from. So back to the video. A lot of other things out there, but Bubbler is what they're tied into. The link to Bubbler will be in the description. So once you get to the come and go, you get your stuff, pictures, everything, turn around and come back. Why is a freeway ride important? Why? That's a great question, Darren. Thanks for asking. You're welcome, Darren. Good. So why do we feel that freeway riding is so important when doing your first, especially your first Iron Butt run? Many reasons. Let's start with what I feel is the most important reason. Speed and safety. Fewer stops, No hazards except for other cars and other bikers, I get it, but you're not gonna have critters on the back road. Okay, you're gonna have much closer distances between fuel stops if you find out that you overestimated the ability of your vehicle or the ability of your bladder or the abilities of the people around you. Not everybody is going to want to ride for 3 consecutive hours. Many people might want to stop and stretch and things like that. Being on a freeway provides you more of that freedom for your first run to get a feel for how an iron butt really works and how it affects your body and it affects your motorcycle. The other important factors I feel are access to emergency services, be they just things for your motorcycle in case you get a flat or a mechanical failure, but worst case scenario, if there's an incident with your body, if there's an accident, you're very close to hospitals, or at least far more closer than you would be if you chose to take scenic routes or back roads for your iron butt. I'm not telling you don't ever do that. What I'm suggesting is if it's your first, use the freeway for those reasons. I just can't emphasize enough how difficult your first iron butt will be. This mapping tutorial is to help you get that first hurdle, that how do I even begin? Well, let's begin with the route, and that's where we are. Take into consideration everything I said. If you liked what I have to show you, come back for more. We're going to have more things on gear and stuff like that, but I wanted to get this tutorial on just how to get started. Just the basic plannings of a route can be the first hurdle to get you out the door, to get you moving, to get you going forward on enjoying long distance riding and what we call endurance riding. So thanks again for watching. I'm Darren with Texas Small Town Rides, and we'll be back with you soon. I'm an idiot.